I'm a scientist.
Suffice it that the blood of 1,000 men and women was spilled within these walls. Limbs twisted and broken. Eyes gouged from bloody sockets. Flesh burned black.
Please. You await the dead. In death, there are no accidents, no coincidences, no mishaps, and no escapes. What you have to realize is that we're all just a mouse that a cat has by the tail.
The number you have reached, 911, has been changed to a non-published number.
Ethan,
Yeah.
you're on the air, baby.
Oh, hey.
You just saved me. We were talking about religion.
We're talking about religion.
We're talking about how great the 50s were.
Yeah?
Or I was talking about how great the 50s were.
And what was so great about the 50s?
Men were men, women were women, God was big. What more need I say?
God was big.
That's right. And the devil's big in your movie, right?
Yeah, we're all about the devil, man. We're going to have to pull a jihad on God.
Okay.
That's hardcore.
Nah, brother, we are God-fearing people out here. But no, we
Oh, come on, you're in L.A. We know better than that.
we are definitely a blue state.
Hollywood is Satan. You know that. Come on.
You know.
You have a Republican governor out there, though.
We do. If we're gonna, hey, listen, man. If we're gonna make it, if you want to make it in any business, you better be down with the devil. I mean, why hide it? But in all seriousness, man, I tried to get here sooner. I jumped on I took the shoulder most of the way.
Okay.
And
Good law-abiding.
The CHP got me and decided to actually smack me down. But
Oh no, dude! Did you get a ticket?
You know, I told him I was headed to do It's a funny thing, man. I said, listen, you're not going to believe this, officer. I got to get to my house to do an interview with World of the Unexplained Radio. And at that point, I thought he was going to let me off, right? Instead, he hands me 2 tickets. Be here all week, ladies and gentlemen.
No, did you really get a ticket?
I did.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
But you know what, though? I got to give the guy some credit because, you know, when I told him what I was doing, he wrote the ticket fast.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, he did skip the process of scanning the barcode on my license, and aren't we glad? Because then we'd be doing this interview from another place.
Exactly. What do you mean they're extraditing him?
Exactly.
His one phone call.
Yeah, so I hope your audience will forgive me, man. But I'm stoked to be talking to you on this special Halloween edition of World of the Unexplained Radio.
That's right.
So what did I miss? Have we been talking Halloween movies or what? Religion?
Oh, we just did that to eat up some time, yeah.
Oh, good. Well, listen, we aren't as big. You know, the Sin-Jin Smyth is a film. Before your audience drags me out back and lynches me for some things I just said.
No, they know that. We've been playing the interviews that I did with Camden Toy, John Philbin. There's a host of others. Kevin Gage, I played that.
You got an all-star lineup tonight.
Greg Travis,
really
Wade Wilson. I played all those tonight.
Man, that's a pretty powerful group. You know, I put that group against any other cast in the Octagon. Those guys are serious. Philbin, I mean, Camden is awesome. He's an awesome actor. He's the modern-day Lon Chaney, and I'm a big fan of Lon Chaney's earlier work like The Unknown, London After Midnight. Camden is a modern-day Lon Chaney, and that guy, man, and Sin-Jin Smyth especially, where he plays this Charles Dickens-inspired, like, ghostly cemetery watchman, awesome work. And then Philbin, of course, Wreck Shop as Special Agent Cable 6 and his 6-chambered grenade launcher. And then Kevin Gage and his trademark sledgehammers. Interrogation specialist Agent Dax. And then it sounds like you had Wade Wilson on there, who's actually wiring the whole film tight now. He was the sound designer on Poseidon. Well, you know that already. I'm sure you got that from the interview.
Oh, yeah.
And he's doing he's doing a lot of thunder work and lightning work tonight, which is good. He's full throttle, and the rest of those guys. Greg Travis. I was just at his Halloween party Friday night, a Halloween party with a 70s twist.
Oh, gosh.
And he was every bit of the part, man. Let me tell you, that guy. He had the like the ruffled tuxedo shirt. I mean, he had it down, man. And I had to show up from the studio, right? So I just kind of showed up and in my normal dress, and everyone else, man, was just super, 70s out. I mean, I was impressed with it. I was just like, damn, sucker.
I just got one question for you.
Yeah.
How much do you pay these people to lie about you? No, I'm kidding.
A lot. That's why I live where I live, and they live where they live.
They've all said such wonderful things about you. It's amazing to hear. No, I'm not kidding you. I mean, all the interviews, they say such wonderful things about you.
I'm not sure what they could say. I mean, I'm not. Now you got me thinking. I mean, I have such god-awful nicknames. I have no idea what those guys would be saying.
When they were talking about the devil, we just assumed they were talking about Jonathan Davis, but it turned out to be you. No, I'm kidding.
Right. See, now that's more along the lines of what I'd expect from that group.
Now, they said you were a very cool director. You really allowed them to add to their character instead of, you let them blend their vision with yours instead of, being very hardline about it and saying, no, this is my vision, this is the way we're going to do it.
That's good that they said that. The truth is
he was a hard ass.
Yeah, the truth is I heard none of what they said, and it all made, as soon as they, did one of their ideas, I had it cut from the film and it hit the editing room floor. No, but the reality is, that's why you hire those guys, to be specific, working through this process and being new at it and trying to do the best I could on behalf of the audience for which we serve. I didn't feel like I had a lot of confidence in the script, but I never feel that what's on the page is the best it can be until all the ideas are processed and filtered through. And a lot of reasons you hire these guys is you give them, at least in this case, in the case of Sin-Jin Smyth, we gave them the lowdown. This is what we're doing. This is how I see it. This is the climate and condition and the political message of which you're operating in. And what do you think? And they would give their thoughts, and we would evolve. The character would take an extra evolution from there, which is good. You get these guys. I mean, I don't proceed to tell John Philbin how to handle a weapon. I mean, the guy, I don't know how many people he killed in Tombstone and Point Break on film. The guy's experienced, he knows what he's doing. These guys are good, man. They're good. They've been around, and Travis has worked with David Lynch. He worked with Paul Verhoeven on Starship Troopers and, Showgirls. He's got his experience with Tobe Hooper. And these guys, there's something to be taken from that. They have their ideas, and and most of them are pretty good, yeah. So we embraced a lot of it, because it would actually, it would do more for where we were at.
Now, let me stop you a second, Ethan. Anybody wants to talk with Ethan Dettenmaier, the director and writer of Sin-Jin Smyth, you can call us here at 877-722-7382 or locally 336-996-1596. That number again, 877-722-7382, or for those of you dialing impaired, 877-SCARE-U2. That's our new number. You like that, Scare-U2?
I like that. Hey, so happy Halloween.
Thank you. Happy Halloween to yourself.
What are you going to be watching tomorrow night?
Sin-Jin Smyth, no.
The bootleg.
Yeah, the bootleg.
He's on a roll.
I don't know. I watched The Exorcist 1 and Exorcist 3 last night. I skipped 2 for obvious reasons. Actually, I was talking to you on the phone when 2 was on. I was like, oh, my God.
Way to lie to your audience,
yeah.
Jay. What a blatant show of disrespect to your crowd. I can't believe you and I were on the phone. And the sad thing about it is not only were you watching The Heretic, you were telling me how much you liked it.
No.
Is this true?
Guy, and he goes, listen, man, don't ever let this get out. This Exorcist, too. I mean, I don't even know why they made the first Exorcist. Funny thing, one of our actresses, Eileen Dietz, who I think you know.
Oh, yeah.
She's got a running feud with Linda Blair over this whole Exorcist thing.
Oh, that's
Blair
right.
Claims that Dietz is the reason she didn't win the Oscar because Dietz did all the crazy.
Yeah. Oh, no, you're fine tonight.
I'm fine tonight?
Yeah, you can say anything you want.
Oh, this is America, baby.
That's right.
But no, Dietz did the split pea soup scene, the crucifix scene, and a lot.
I know, and she doesn't get credit for it.
Yeah, she doesn't get credit for it, but it's no secret within the industry or within the union who did what. And Blair blames her for not getting the Oscar nod, saying that Eileen did all the complicated work and the stunt work and whatnot. And hey, man, what can I tell you at this point? But
Linda Blair wouldn't come on my show, so whatever. Who needs her?
Linda Blair.
Who needs her?
Yeah, who needs her? Yeah, man, it was amazing. It's funny how you just lied to your audience like that.
I
do for obvious reasons.
Oh my God. Anyway, we know who's telling the truth here.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I want to hear about this Warner Brothers thing. Hey, can you spend more time with us? Can we go 15? Okay, great. We're going to go 15 minutes over if they'll let us. I'm waiting on an email back right now to see if they'll let us go over by about 15 minutes.
Well, I'm ready to fire up the rockets, man, so let's do it.
I want to hear about this Warner Brothers thing that you were talking about the other day.
Which Warner Brothers thing?
Well, you said you wanted to talk about it.
Oh.
Or if you don't, we can't. We don't have to talk about it if you don't want to.
Let me just say this: that when you, I don't want to get too geopolitical on your audience, but let me just say this: when you work with inside, or you try to collaborate within a structured studio system that has a structured marketing plan and structured formulas that they expect you to abide by, it's going to be a rough relationship. And quite frankly, I have more respect for the work and innovative work of some independent artists out there to try and stuff everything into a box. And we've had our issues every step of the way. We took the movie to Warner Brothers originally to have them make it. They passed on it. They loved the script. They were open about that, but they didn't want to do a movie. And we've had this talk on this show. They didn't want to do a movie where the central figure was the devil, the way he was depicted in the film, where we had somewhat rewritten religion. And they didn't like the fact that the cast was all bad. I mean, everyone in Sin-Jin Smyth wrecks shop. There isn't one redeeming character or quality in that entire cast, and I think they were a little put off by that. In fact, actually, we just screened it for some of our partners not too long ago, and my agent was actually kind of even making some suggestions that maybe the studio may have been right to some degree, saying that he thought the film was a little dark on the political message and a little too much of a kick in the teeth from a violence standpoint. But you're going to have your issues, and they're going to want to, they wanted us to work in a love story to get the female demographic. And
man.
They wanted an exorcism also, because they felt that was big right now, although the movie just has nothing to do with exorcisms or anything like that. And it just became something of a circus. And like I've said before, I didn't want Sin-Jin Smyth selling Happy Meals, I didn't want the movie to hit TNT and take a break, and he's selling Coke to, And another thing that
the Sin-Jin Smyth Happy Meal.
Exactly. Although that would be pretty cool in a certain marketing capacity, but, in the general overall marketing capacity to kids, I'm not down with that.
Get Agent Dax, the action figure.
Dax. One instead of sledgehammers. The reality is they wanted to cut content and cut script pages to fit the whole thing in a PG-13 framework, and I just wasn't having that. I mean, the Sin-Jin Smyth is a hard R, and there's just some things in the film with the film's political message. The violent aspect is what it is, but there's just some things in the film that 13, 14, and 15-year-olds kids should not see, and I don't know why. Well,
do they still have an NC-17 rating, or have they abolished that?
No, they've got that, I think. They've got that.
From what I understand,
toe-to-toe with the ratings board yet. I have an idea of what they're going to give me.
Okay.
Especially with the new ending. But I don't, but there is still NC-17 to my knowledge, and PG-13. But this is not a movie for 13-year-olds. It's not a movie for kids in 8th grade. And I think that, in having a strained relationship over the years since I worked in the messenger room and was fired by those fascists.
Go ahead, let it out, really.
Well, I mean, I've seen a battery of Studio Brown shirts have one script burning after another, where creative work is just kind of, flushed down the toilet. And I'm really not in favor of the current trend of doing movies that are just, quite frankly, that just suck. And that's what you get from that studio right now. I mean, you've got a battery, whether it's the remake of House of Wax or, Battlefield Earth or Deep Blue Sea or the 2 attempts at The Exorcist. What the was that?
No, I like the one that made it to the theater. I did like that.
Getting some honesty.
I did like that. I like the prequel, man. I'm sorry. I don't like the one they shelved. I'm glad they shelved it. They're
come out in one of our conversations.
Yeah, they should have shelved that one. It was bad.
I'll tell you, you gotta have your opinion, and that's something that's respectable. But the current trend at Warner Brothers, Poseidon, and movies like this,
and House of Wax, I haven't seen it because it looked like it would suck too bad.
There's a motion there to kind of do, it's. They think they've already got an audience established with the remake. And quite frankly, for my opening directorship, I didn't want any part of that. I didn't want any part of that trend. I didn't want to actually curve a movie to fit a marketing or a marketing blueprint or a story blueprint. I wanted to break the framework, try and break new ground. And granted, I haven't done anything yet, but the sincere effort behind the work, it had to be genuine towards trying to achieve something new and getting the team and the tech support within the framework of the film to try and actually do something new. Whether we achieved it or not is up to the audience, but the goal was, let's try and do something special. I don't want to be a part of, I don't want to do a reimagining of Deep Star 6. I don't want to do House of Dead 3. I don't want any part of that. And the thing about it that's frustrating, and I've made this point before too, is that the studios, with their hundreds of millions of dollars of resources in both production and marketing and their access to talent, we deserve better for them. While box office prices shoot up and the content shoots down, it's just tough for me to deal with the whole thing. And quite frankly, you may have guessed this, Jay, I'm not one to just go along with it quietly. If someone's going to suggest something, you're going to get the genuine opinion from me, and that's, for better or worse, is just the way we've decided to deal with certain people at that studio and other production companies. I just assume we get straight to it, and you hear what I'm thinking, rather than me kind of go along and try and be easy, and, we're doing some ridiculous Leviathan 2, I just don't want to be a part of that system. I'd rather reach out to talent, in the Midwest United States, Canada, Asia, Europe, Africa, wherever, find new writers, new literary works, and try and do something new, or at least go back to some classics that haven't been adopted yet, but dig up something that audiences haven't seen. There's no reason to do.
Oh, that's what people like John Carpenter did with Halloween. That's what was done by Wes Craven with the Freddy Krueger movies.
Yeah, and they deserve a lot of credit. And the thing about it that's also offensive to me is that these people, whether it's Tobe Hooper with Texas Chainsaw Massacre or Carpenter with Halloween, the studios have moved away. They've taken the franchise away from them and turned it over to these MTV type directors, which, granted, to some degree, and in some ways they're very talented, but they've taken it away from the people who created it, and they expect the franchise to have the same kind of hitting power that the originals had. And I think you should go back to these guys that started it all and try and see what their ideas are and work with them and try and incorporate them and reinvigorate the franchise with them. Why are you going to get away from some of these guys?
Well, yeah, you think about it. I haven't seen a really great horror film in quite some time. I think the last one that I was pretty happy with, I like Scream. I thought that was a great movie. I liked
it's Saw.
I liked Saw. Okay. I liked the movie. What's the movie? It's Darkness Falls, the Tooth Fairy movie.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that, but I've heard of it.
What have you heard, good or bad, on it?
What's the next question?
Oh, wait, which one's the one about the backpacking through Europe and you end up in a slaughterhouse or something, man? I can't remember.
I've heard good things about that. Haven't seen it.
That one sounds.
It looked a little too gruesome for me.
Right.
I don't mind the '80s slasher films, but some of the stuff that.
Well, that's a good question. What's the best movie out of the '80s, Jay?
I don't know, man. That's a high standard. I've got all the Halloween films. I love them. I've got all of the Nightmare on Elm Street films. I love those. I was never a big fan of Friday the 13th. The story it kind of sucked.
Some of them are pretty weak.
Yeah,
they're
it's
ones
like part
that stand
15.
out,
It's like, let's put Jason in a blender. Let's blend him up, and guess what? Somehow or another, even if we ship 5 different parts to 5 different places on the earth, he will come back.
I have to admit, though, man.
Jacqueline Moore, actually, who plays one of our rogue agents. She was a WWE diva, but she's the real deal. Black belt, pro fighter, all of that. She's a genuine.
Oh wow.
She's a genuine combat enthusiast versus someone who gets up there and,
one of our chat room people. Halloween 3 was the suckiest movie ever. Halloween 3 did suck. That was the.
I don't know if it's the suckiest movie.
Season of the Witch. Yeah, that was awful.
I know it's like fire and blanks, but I don't know. There's been so many bad movies.
Witchcraft isn't that a really terrible franchise right there?
Witchcraft.
Hey, everyone's talking at once.
I'm sorry.
Let's get on the same page.
Here's a trivia question for you. Was Michael Myers in Halloween 3?
Who was it? No, was he?
Was Michael Myers in Halloween 3?
No, it wasn't.
He was. He was on the television set in the factory.
Oh, okay.
A trick question,
watch
apparently.
That trash.
See, be glad you're not in the Scream movie. You would have lost. Anyway.
I've met Dick Warlock, though, who is in most of those movies.
Really?
In the third one, too. But real quick, Jacqueline Moore, she's a combat enthusiast on Sin-Jin Smyth, and she was asked in an interview, from the set, she was doing an interview, and the journalist says, hey, do you have some kind of signature death in Sin-Jin Smyth? Because in the original Friday the 13th, Kevin Bacon gets killed on a cot, and her response is, she just laughs and goes, I can tell you I don't get killed on no cot. That's for sure. That's for wussy.
Oh, my gosh. We're going to go ahead and go over because I haven't got an email back, and as long as the servers don't shut down, I guess we'll be fine.
Yeah, we're going to go all night, man, and if they got a problem with it, they can talk to me.
That's right. I've got a question from one of our chat room people. They want to know what you think of Rob Zombie remaking Halloween.
I don't know enough about him to really know. I'm not really a fan of remaking anything.
I got you.
I don't know that remaking Halloween is really the best thing either, but I think it's already at a point where the deal's done, and let this guy put his twist on it and put his stamp on it, and that's what we got now. So that's what you're going to have to live with. And I think you can kick it around, or you can be pro Rob Zombie, or I haven't met him either way. I'm not really too familiar with too much of his work, but give the guy a go at it. Let's see what he can do. I mean, he certainly cannot do any worse than some of those movies. I mean, I was watching one of those movies the other night, and some guy shoots the jail up with a Tommy gun, and I was like, what the hell movie is this? And it's Halloween something. So I think, if you're getting to a point where you're turning on, I mean, you can watch Halloween.
Yeah.
You can identify that it's Halloween right away, the original, by one frame of the film. But now it's the point where I can look at Halloween, 6, 5, and I don't know which one I'm watching. There's no signature to it at all. So I would have to say that, let the guy try it and see what he comes up with. I mean, don't worry. You got another Halloween right behind that if it doesn't do well.
That's true. Well, listening, though, Halloween's got the signature music, and this brings to mind the Midnight Syndicate music for your film.
Right.
It is such a signature type of music that I think that right there is just going to spell horror classic right before it even gets out of the stable.
Oh, thank you. They'd be happy to hear that. They do have a signature sound. We worked real hard on that, and that was a good experience. I'll take it, for people who don't know orchestral composition for a film. That's a high-tech process, and I wanted to innovate across the board, not just in the film but also in the music. And in working with Ed Douglas of Midnight Syndicate and having him kind of reach those emotions with a subtle synthesized pulse, or trying to actually move the audience to the edge of their seat with a certain bit of, synthesized magic. I mean, that was kind of a thing we wanted to make sure we accomplished. And what we did was we actually referenced The Thing, and that would probably be my favorite horror movie out of the 80s, but Carpenter's version of The Thing, not Hawks, but... We referenced that scene where, are you familiar with the movie?
Yeah.
Where Fuchs is, scratching down the notes on how to combat the spreading of the thing into, the food supply. And he's in the lab, and the power just gets sucked out, and you can just hear the music slowly drop with the power, and he gets up with his Zippo. The guy doesn't smoke in the whole movie, but he's got the Zippo at the right moment. And he starts moving around the room, and he kicks over the bucket, which is, as Wade Wilson, who you interviewed earlier, will probably tell you that's nothing more than sound design. There probably wasn't even a bucket there, but he kicks over the bucket, Hollywood magic, or pretends to kick over a bucket. And by the time he gets to the entrance, an inhuman shadow just bolts in front of him and causes him to jump, and the music really hits. You as a musician, Jay, can appreciate what I'm talking about. The music really hits a nerve at that moment, and we were talking about how. It's best to try and use music to trigger emotion, not have music on there just so the audience is hearing music, but use it as a tool to try and bring the audience to the edge of their seat and kind of move them through a scene. Not like Danny Elfman did in the beginning of Sleepy Hollow, where his name comes across the credits and there's this massive note where it's just like, bam, and now you're listening to Danny Elfman, ladies and gentlemen. Use it as a tool, an effective tool, and they did that. But then, I wanted to tie it in and be interesting, and I said, Ed, I want to do some power guitar work. We have a lot of hard-hitting action elements in the film, and as great as this music is you're doing, we gotta convey a hard-punching aspect to certain elements and certain characters. And I just told him I was thinking about you doing some guitar work. And he said, well, I don't do guitar, but we should get a guitarist. And that's when that enter a la Billy Duffy of the Cult. And I know what you're going to ask me, Jay, and yes, I spoke to him today, and we'll get to that after the show.
That's fine. Well, I wanted to, Chuck actually, Trent's can't be here tonight. He's got some family issues he has to take care of. But Chuck, who's our producer generally, he's the one that's been co-hosting with me tonight.
Yeah, Chuck.
You remember Chuck?
Oh, yeah.
He's actually we went to college together. He got his degree in classical guitar, and he was actually
we got a guy already. Thanks, man.
Oh no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that he knows a little bit about film scoring. Weren't you in a master's program for film scoring?
Yeah, briefly over at School of the Arts, man.
Okay, yeah. So
I'll tell you, we can stop right there because he already knows more than me.
Okay.
Because I didn't even go to college. So we might as well get that on the table now so your audience knows it. I didn't even go to junior college.
Trust me, man, you're not missing anything.
I'm not.
No.
I feel better about it.
Well, you're missing some great parties, but you're probably getting that anyway.
It's Hollywood, man. The parties They don't ever stop. As Chuck could probably identify with, we wanted to convey a shift in emotion with the guitar, and that's where Duffy from the Cult came in, and he identified with some things that I really responded to as a kid, which was Morricone music from the spaghetti westerns of Leone, like Good, Bad, and the Ugly, and kind of signature guitar riffs, but with a heavy kind of modern edge to it, and that's where doing the music really became good and inventive, because there was two components, Ed Douglas of Midnight Syndicate and Duffy of the Cult, that would never have crossed paths except on this mission to try and innovate something, a complete flux of emotions on this film, and that was really something cool to watch. They got plenty of work to do, those guys, but it was just kind of a thing where to watch those guys work and kick ideas around, that's when you can feel progression being made in terms of an art, because oh, sorry. Those guys both. Did I cut out on you?
Yeah. I was wondering if we'd lost you there for a second.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
But those guys definitely knew how to take it. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Hey, man, I had to rush in. I got on my home line. People sometimes want to talk to me.
Oh, I got you. Call waiting. That's the blip. We're cool then.
But it was cool, man. I'm not an artist in that regard of, music in any way. To watch those guys kind of work and kind of kick some ideas around, there is some good stuff. The orchestral version of the soundtrack will not disappoint.
Have you inked a distribution deal yet?
We're on the table with several. We talked to Weinstein's last week. We've got some good ones. One suggested premiering the film at Cannes next year, the Cannes Film Festival in France, but I think we're probably going to be released earlier than that. And it's a combination. There's a lot of factors that go into that. It's not a question of someone just slapping a deal down. There's a number of theaters. There's locations of theaters. There's a marketing plan. There's P&A money behind it. How does it all factor into a successful release? And you're going to get some things from some people and other things from other people. And the other thing is we wanted to hold off on that deal until everything was wired tight with the film, because the deal increases, the firepower of your release increases as your film gets put together and people are able to get a grip of what you're doing. When you start a film and you got a rough cut, people can see it's got merit, but when it gets wired tight, then that's when, when you screen it like we did the other night and people were actually cheering, it's the first time the film had gotten wired to that point where people started going off the hook watching it, or people were leaving, they didn't want to sit through it, and then they would come back and I'd see them kind of peeking in and out from the door. That's when, you've got these distributors on the hook in a way that can make everyone a profitable partnership. So we're close, and we should actually have an announcement on that pretty soon. That's very business. What a very business-like question on our Halloween show. You ever thought we were going to talk about some fun stuff like Vincent Price or Haunted Hill?
We're going to get to that. That's a great movie, by the way, the original.
Haunted Hill?
The original, the black and white.
Oh, man, it's one of my favorites.
Oh, definitely one of mine, too.
I think I might have told you this. Every Halloween, we stop work at the production office at noon, and we get together for, lunch and drinks, and we, everyone on the outfit, whatever movie's going, we all stop, and we go into the screening room, and we watch a film that people vote on. They vote on it all October, and then we pull the reels and screen it on Halloween. And we're doing House on Haunted Hill tomorrow. It's the second time our production outfit has done it. It's that popular. I wouldn't know how to classify it. I wouldn't say it's like a great work of art, but man, it is fun to watch.
Oh, it's great, and the remake sucks. So if you get the remake and you're listening, don't watch the remake.
Who plays Vincent Price in the remake?
I don't. Do you remember?
Jeffrey Rush plays him.
Jeffrey Rush. Right? He does a good job, but the remake just sucks.
Now Rush is respectable, but you are, a remake. No matter how good you are, you're still in the remake.
Yeah, and they it was awful.
A lot of these remakes, they don't try to really get inventive. They basically copy the original and they make a change here and there and call it a remake. They don't even really take an idea and try and kick it around. But that first one, man, and it'll be on tomorrow night, I'm sure, while I'm scaring trick-or-treaters. Just that whole, the opening of those sound effects, and that house is actually not too far from our production office.
Oh, really? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a national landmark. They're restoring it.
Oh, my gosh.
There's a big effort right now, and people should go online to support this. You should go online for a couple of reasons, and I'll get to the others later. But there's a big effort right now to try and restore that house and to raise money to save that house and put that house back together. But it's just a classic film, man. It's just that guy, too. What is it, Nelson Pritchard? The actor who's just what a way to open the film where he's just like, the ghosts are restless tonight. Lurking. And then he just immediately shifts tempo to, may I introduce myself? My name is Nelson Pritchard. It's just like you're watching this going, man, the ghosts are restless. May I introduce myself? And of course then there's Vincent Price, who's got like the coffin goodie bag.
Oh yeah, with the guns.
Yeah. Great movie. It's not a disappointment to watch for those people who may be listening that maybe turned off because I don't know, it's black and white.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to give away the ending though. The ending's too good.
No, it's a blast. It's a fun movie to watch, and it's a shame they couldn't capture some of that magic in the original because the
remake.
Original, but the remake.
Yeah.
The remake was cast well.
Yeah,
the art
just
direction was superior. It was a great looking.
It looked great. Yeah, great special effects. The movie just sucked.
It had nothing going, and when it was all said and done, I was, it was like it was. They're making all these castle films over again. They did 13 Ghosts, and now they're
the remake of that wasn't any good either.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Now I'm not as in love with the original 13 Ghosts.
I'm not either.
On Haunted Hill.
I'm not. There's another film. Shirley Jackson wrote the novel for it. It was Haunting on Hill House, I think.
Oh yeah, The Haunting of Hill House.
I didn't like the film. I liked the book a lot, but I didn't like the original film, and I think they did a remake. I didn't like it either.
Well, is that the one with Roddy McDowall?
I don't remember.
I'm fairly certain there's several versions of that movie, actually. In fact, Robert Wise's version of The Haunting may have been the first adaptation of that. Now, your listeners can probably correct me, but I suspect that Robert Wise actually did that in the early 60s as The Haunting, which is a great movie.
Well, speaking of our listeners, they can call you right here directly, 877-SCARE-U2.
Mouth off.
877-SCARE-U2 or locally 336-996-1596. Ethan, when is the release date planned for this movie, or do you know yet?
Well, the target date is probably the middle to third quarter of next year, so you may see it pretty quick.
Okay.
But there is no hammer. That is all part of the distribution plan. How'd you get me off a fun topic like House on Haunted Hill and bring me right down to business? Do you know how much business I handle in my day, Jay? Do you know how much of my day is dedicated to release dates and contracts and negotiations and just in general? I mean, come on, man.
I just wanted people to know the website is sin-jinsmyth.com. All my listeners know that because I play the advertisement for the film probably enough to make them sick.
Good. That's what I like to hear. Just so you know, also we're going to launch a charity promotion. We're going to be marketing. We're going to be auctioning off a point on eBay for charity.
Oh wow!
You can own a piece of Sin-Jin Smyth, and the money you put towards the film will go to a firm that helps autistic children.
What are you going to be auctioning?
I think it goes up this week, actually.
Okay.
But that's, rather than us take the point home, let's do some good with it. So that point is going to be available to the average guy in the North Carolina wilderness. Be a Hollywood producer. Step up and make a bid on the point, and you'll be helping out a lot of people.
Awesome.
See, we're the production company that just keeps on giving, baby.
Now, are you going to be auctioning off any of the props from the film?
Well, a lot of those props are actually available at the online store, and those that aren't will be shortly. And we're going to do a series of giveaways, promotional giveaways, and things of that nature. I'm sure. I mean, how it all gets mapped out is yet to be decided. But we'll have those sledgehammers available to you and other things of that nature. There's a lot of requests for that. We get probably a couple hundred requests for sledgehammers a week, actually.
I'm sure.
It's amazing that that's the item that's so big. The sledgehammer, man.
Chuck wants the sledgehammer. No,
we get it, and they realize that it looks great and it's got blood on it, but it's made of styrofoam. And one guy wrote me a letter saying, "What's up with the deal, man? I can't go out and bang on anything."
Oh God!
What did you think? There's a certain legal issue, idiot.
Idiot.
It's a prop.
Sledgehammers are available at your local Home Depot.
Exactly. Go out, buy one, spray paint it red, have a good day.
Yeah, but a lot of them, it's funny because Kevin Gage, he already gets a lot of flack around town for using that sledgehammer, man. We were at lunch the other day and someone shouted, "Hey, where's your sledgehammer?"
Oh God.
And he's like, "You'll see when the movie comes out." He's like, "How did this happen?" How did this scenario happen? I said, "Hey, don't look at me, man. You're the actor."
Yeah, I just spoke to Kevin today, actually, the interview that we played earlier. I did with him earlier.
What did Gage have to say?
He was just talking about how wonderful the film was and, how much he enjoyed playing the part and, that kind of thing.
Well, he sold it. They have a magic moment. I don't know if he told you a little bit about the interrogation scene with Richard Tyson.
I think he did a little bit, yeah.
Where Tyson, Richard Tyson plays an instructor at the Federal School of Interrogation. The movie taking place a couple years in the future. And, a police state environment. And Tyson's a federal instructor for a school on how to, extract information. And we're setting up the shop, and we have all the, the dental tools, and we shot it in a meat locker, a big prison meat locker.
God.
This prison called Lincoln Heights, and it had a big industrial meat locker. And we said, this is our interrogation room, and we rolled in all the stainless steel furniture and everything. And we moved in an actor named Kevin McNally, who's Noah Wiley's photo double. We moved him in. He was going to be the guy we beat to hell. And, we laid it all out, man. We have the Craftsman tools and all that, stuff that you could build a house with or stuff you can do good dental work with, and we just had it all. And we did it in such a way where I just said, hey, this scene, we set up 2 cameras, and we said, just go at it as you're going to go at it. You don't need any direction from me. Grab the tool you want, grab the tool you'll think is effective, and just, tear this guy up.
So is there any teeth pulling in the scene?
There is some teeth pulling.
There is.
Kevin Gage actually grabs the guy grabs a molar by some channel locks.
Oh.
But the funny thing about it was we're setting up. All I said, the only direction I gave to Richard Tyson is you just have to get one line straight for me, and that is you have to look this guy in the eye when you're about ready to do some damage to him and just say, you better give me your blood type because you're going to need a serious transfusion. That's the only line you have to get into the cut. And if you feel good about it, follow up with this line about what it takes to reattach someone's jaw and, you throw in some welding tools or whatever. But, we didn't really sit down and have a structured attack plan for that scene. I just said, Richard, that's the only line you have to get. Say it when it's appropriate. And Kevin was in that scene, too. And what's interesting is Kevin played Waingro in Heat opposite De Niro. And Tyson went out for that role 7 times when they were auditioning. And he
really
would say to me, before I even met Kevin Gage, I've known him both years now, but Tyson would be like, man, I went out for that movie 7 times, and I didn't know why I didn't get it until I saw the guy they got. And they ended up, he said that again to him on the set when Gage showed up that night, and there we're sitting there, and Gage is just like, laughing it off. They're both very genuine people, and they get a lot of flack for being notorious Hollywood bad guys because some people think that Tyson is exactly how he is in 3 O'Clock High. They have no idea the guy's sense of humor or that he's this Shakespearean actor, They just think he's this bad guy, and a lot of times he's asked, hey, what's it like playing, bad guys? And he's like, as opposed to what? I've never played a good guy, But those 2 actors, to see, Gage, who was notorious in G.I. Jane and Blow, or especially as Waingro in Heat, and then Tyson, and to see them have, gone out for the same roles, but to have them in the same room in this torture chamber we set up, it was kind of a cool moment, We could have shot that scene all night. That poor actor, man. He felt like he was in the presence of greatness. This was his big break, so he was out there trying to do it all. And the AD, which is the safety officer on the set, goes, hey, now, Kevin, you know the universal sign for distress, right, if these guys start beating on you too hard. And Kevin's like, oh, yeah, I know it. And he took every beating. He took the channel locks. He took the sledgehammer. He got clubbed, punched, kicked. They went right at it. They're method actors, right? So they're pounding on him.
Oh, that's sweet.
Oh, we got a caller for you, Ethan.
Nice. Right in the middle of my story. Who is this?
I'm sorry.
Who is this?
I'm calling from Chicago.
Oh, excellent. How are you? First time caller, long time listener?
Yeah, one of those. Yeah.
She's our new fan in Chicago.
How are you tonight? Happy Halloween. Let's get that out of the way.
Happy Halloween to you, too. We've got a little Indian summer happening here, so life is good.
Excellent.
So the rotten little kids come over to my house tomorrow.
You are really in the spirit, aren't
blizzard.
you?
What?
I said, rotten little kids, you are really in the spirit, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. If I could terrorize them, I would, but, we've got time for that. Well, first of all, I just wanted to say, you know what, I've got, the utmost respect for anyone who can make a living in that business.
It ain't easy, I'll tell you that.
No, it's not, because, I went to film school, I did that whole route, and...
Another person who's ahead of me in this. What
not that far ahead of you. I only went for 2 years. Didn't get too far into it, before, my parents told me I had to get a real job.
Yeah.
Or move.
You know what, it's funny. I was given that speech, too, and you can go either one way or the other when you hear that.
Right,
and
right.
Now,
and I went the wrong way.
Yeah, me too. But go ahead.
Well, the whole Catholic guilt thing, got me. But you're killing your father,
Take your parents to see this movie, would you?
What?
That? Sorry? What's your question?
Oh, I was just going to ask, how hard was it on the actors and on you in terms of, getting all these special effects done for a movie like this? Hopefully.
How hard was it on the actors?
Yeah, and on you.
What's that?
As hard as you can make it? Is that what you said?
Well, that's what I said, but I didn't hear the rest of the question. I'm sorry. Well, how hard was it on the actors? Was that the question?
Yeah, that was part of the question. And then, on you, in so far as, the film production went, I mean, did it cause a lot of delays? I always hear about, these poor guys getting stuck in makeup for 9 hours
well,
to do...
the serious makeup work was done by Makeup and Monsters, and you may be familiar with them. They designed and built the creature for Jeepers Creepers.
Right.
They had some experience on Pirates of the Caribbean 2 and Austin Powers, and even as far back as Aliens. So we had a real professional special effects team, and they were able to get the guys. Jonathan Davis actually has the most heavy-duty makeup rig of the film, and they were able to get him in and out of the outfit in about 2 hours of application time and 45 minutes to take down. So they were able to move fairly quick with him, in part because they had already done the test, cast him. They obviously cast the mold of his face and did the heavy-duty work and had done some tests. But a lot of the other guys were in the hands of another expert named Ruth Haney, who was on Poseidon, actually, and she did a lot of the day-to-day. She was the department head for that division, and she did a lot of the day-to-day cuts and bruises. I mean, the hardest thing on the actors, honestly, in addition to that, was working a complete night schedule where Sin-Jin Smyth takes place all at night, and then doing a movie that takes place a few minutes after a tornado warning where you have nothing but wind blowing and elements, and you're shooting in winter, right?
Right, right.
Not only do they have to get ramped up in this makeup, but they got to stand in front of like a giant propeller, in the middle of the night. And, we had some problems. We were delayed. Rod had to go to the hospital one night because he got sick. He came back, though, and finished the night out. But we had those kind of moments. And also, you combine a serious action and like stunt element to it, and then you got these guys not only working at night in front of the weather or in the weather, but they got to roll around and kick stuff open or get thrown through a wall. Tyson went through a wall a couple of times. Actually, Casper, I don't know if you've interviewed Gary Casper yet, Jay, but Gary Casper's the guy who put him through the wall. And Gary Casper's about the size of a locomotive.
I talked to Casper for Fangoria. We're holding off on putting any of those interviews out. I'm giving them to you for the DVD.
Yeah, excellent, man. Well, Casper's solid, actually. He's a good guy, man. But he was Jake Fury on the show Battle Dome, for those of you who remember it. But so we had to combine all. It was always tough, and on this movie, as big as the internet likes to make it look, it was really accomplished on no resources. I mean, it was all ingenuity every step of the way because we had to stay one step ahead of the budget. So it was taxing, and there was delays, and it led to a protracted shooting schedule. There's still some elements we need to pick up and shoot, but we're actually coming down in the final stretch of it, and it seemed to pay off because when you see the film and you see how people react to the film, these guys,
it's worth it right there. Yeah.
They did great work, and they sell it, man. I mean, it's a tough movie. It's it's all on the edge of the apocalypse, and martial law and things like that. It can be demanding on an actor, especially where you've got everyone, horsing around on the set, and they've got to come back to the set and get in front of the camera and be bad,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's got its moments where it was, it delayed us and it stalled us. And then again, my inexperience, too, as I tried to adapt to new things and try and get into the practice of transmitting my vision from the script to the screen. I mean, collaboration with others. And I was short-handed on technical knowledge. I had to kind of grasp that in pre-production. So there was a combination of a lot of things.
I think you learn as you go with anything you do.
I got real good at saying I'm sorry. I would just run up, and I had two good phrases. I would just run up and say, excuse me, I have no idea what we're talking about here. What is, and I'd just be point blank about it, and then I'd just say, I'm sorry. I'd just be, hey, cute.
Right.
And then if the gibberish went over my head, which it almost always did, I'd be like, what's that?
Yeah.
And we figure it out, though.
I come from a writing background, so yeah, when the film techie guys would come around, I was always like, all right, you know what, you take over.
Yeah.
I
remember I would get into things too that would make people crazy. Like we did a scene in a prison corridor, and it's got a real kind of ghostly. They hook up the lightning box, so the lightning's striking outside, so it looks like there's a storm.
Hey guys, we're off air.
What's that?
We're off air.
What happened?
That sort of thing.
Hey guys, we're on.
Oh, we're on.
Yeah.
Awesome. We are back.
Put that down. Put that out.
All right, cool.
So where before the FCC cut us off, where exactly were we?
We were talking about special effects.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I think, we pretty much ran that one into the ground.
Well,
No, but we had moved past that. I think we were talking. We shot, actually, interesting enough, we shot on the same set for the original Assault on Precinct 13, Carpenters, the same jail. Ironically enough, with Charles Cyphers, who was in that movie also before he went on to be the sheriff in Halloween. And he was the guy that walked me through it, actually, and that was kind of a cool moment. He walked me through the original set and said, "This is where we pulled out Napoleon," and he was walking me through the old set, and we did this whole thing where we set it up. We turned this prison corridor into like a kind of a ghostly, middle of the night. It's a midnight prisoner transfer, so we kind of did some work on it and had some art directors hit it up. And we had this storm. The lightning box would strike the lightning outside the window, so it looked like this storm is raging. We had the dimmer on the lights above, so the lights would flicker, and I could just tell, man. You could tell when you're grinding on someone's nerves, because we'd do a shot and I'd say, "Hey, man, I don't think I saw the lights flicker," and the gaffer'd be like, he'd get on his little device, his little mic, and be like, "Director wants more flicker. Director wants more." And so we'd do it again, and I'd be like, "Wait a minute, did we have any lightning going that time?" He'd be like, "Director needs more lightning." And all of a sudden, one of the grips just slaps the box in my hand and says, "You push this button, that's the lightning. This button is the dimmer."
We need more cowbell, yeah.
There you go, more cowbell.
Tap it, though. I mean, I was doing it great, and then all of a sudden the DP walks over to me and goes, "You know what, man? It looks like a f***ing disco out there."
Where's Travolta?
Can you ease off on the flicker? But it's funny. That's one of those things, inexperience. But when you will overcome certain inexperience if your intentions are sound from a storytelling standpoint, and if you have the right technical professionals who, we had a set where nothing was hidden. I mean, I didn't pretend to be some profound David Lean type director. I came on and said, "This is the first operation I've done. I'm going to get my own coffee, put a name tag on me. It says Ethan." And we just did it like from ground zero, and we had the right technical guys that embraced the idea and wanted to get us to the finish line, and that kind of that took hold from a situation of, there's a lot of directors who get on there and they're prone to screaming or tearing people up and not really being efficient in diplomacy and morale and also storytelling,
Right.
And Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. You had. I was on.
I was going to say you've got to really be a leader to do that sort of thing, and part of being a leader is allowing yourself to learn and to be led.
Yeah,
so
and it was funny because for a movie set, I prefer to operate in a no drama environment, which is ironic. It's Hollywood. If something got out of hand, I'd be like, "Well, we can this." There's too much drama here, and it's like you're on a movie set saying that. I'm holding the lightning box, telling people to can it.
All right, well,
stop crying. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But it was, it was a good experience. I mean, the tech professionals. I mean, this is something. When you encourage these filmmakers, wherever they are, to get their hands on a camera and pull the trigger and start to make a film with whatever means available, there is something to be said to get the best people possible, whoever they may be. And there was definitely, especially where Sin-Jin Smyth was a pretty ambitious film from the fact that there weren't a lot of resources, and I was not going to be held back creatively by the lack of funding. I was just going to go full throttle and try and deliver the best movie I could and pack as much octane into those 2 hours as I could. And there was times where people would be like, "You want to do what? You want to blow up what?" And there were the right people try and figure out a way to do it or get close to it, and the wrong people say, "I can't do it, man. Wake me up when my Union 10 is over."
Oh God.
So get the right people.
Thanks for calling in. I appreciate the call.
Thank you. And you know what, Ethan? Good luck with the film. All the best to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Take care.
You should jump on
Bye.
You should jump on our forum because you're a filmmaker. They'd appreciate your presence there.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, do it.
All right. Thanks for calling.
I will. Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right.
Hey, that was nice. That was a call on this Halloween.
That's right.
That was very nice. All right, so back to House on Haunted Hill. All right, remember the part where the dude gets hit with the candlestick?
I'm trying to think.
All right, forget it, bro.
I'm trying to think, dude. I haven't seen that film in like a good 5 months, man.
Come on, man. May I introduce myself? The ghosts are restless.
Well, I've got a question for you. Now, I know this is a problem for us, and I know shooting at night is awful for lighting.
Well, we shot all nights. We didn't have a single day on the schedule, and it's just a question. I mean, let me tell you, your problems are solved with the right DP. If you get the cinematographer who moves the right guys in, then it's just a matter of obtaining some equipment. You can light day, or you can even shoot day for night and still create a cinematic look that's worthwhile. I think where you run into trouble is people who may not have enough experience with it or have the technical tools to really get it looking good. Despite what the guy at your local video shop tells you, there is a trick to it, and some people it takes years to light, a night scene properly. But day also can be pretty spooky if you're in the right environment, and if you can find a nice lonely place and shoot, you can get some spookiness across during the day.
Well, we were shooting our video for your film, and
Black Book Romance.
Yes. I've got to get the self.
Gotta plug it, man.
What's that, bro?
I said I gotta plug it, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely, you gotta plug it. I was gonna plug it, but I'm glad you beat me to it.
But we had some problems.
Tell me more about your band in my film. Go ahead.
Well, we had some problems with lighting because we would go there at night, and I mean the reason we had problems not because of the guy that was shooting it was just the problems where we didn't have the lights, and so we were making all these we were doing all this makeshift stuff with lights that they had, because they weren't there, so we were putting stuff up and using their lights and doing some things. But most of the stuff we got a lot of good day shots that he said he could make look like night and different things like that.
You can definitely shoot day for night, but it sounds like you got to have the technical aspect of it.
Oh yeah, well we've got enough. We recorded enough during the day as well. We've got some great, fantastic props down there. They've got a big noose hanging off of this platform. There's a big.
You know what else is good is like soft glow gels or like what they would call like balloons, illuminary balloons that would actually create kind of synthetic moonlight. And it's not something you find out of the industry much, but you can get it, and it'll actually give your film a whole different look. A light or a floodlight shined directly on something can have kind of a harsh look. And what you might want to do is, crane something up. And if you can't crane it up, get it up somehow from above.
So these are luminescent balloons?
Yeah, there's a bunch of different tools that are just like we did a lot. We shot the whole thing at night. I mean, how many times do I need to say that?
Again.
Yeah, we shot this whole movie at night.
Really?
And yeah, for those of us who don't know, Sin-Jin Smyth takes place entirely at night, moments after a tornado warning, but all at night. But we used this balloon that, it was big. It was a big balloon. It was it was really big. It was, and we would, the gaffer would keep that on a stick, close, similar to like a boom, and he would lead the actors by it. But what it created was this real kind of moonlight effect, and you'll see it when you see the movie. But I mean, I was really nervous about that. I wasn't sure if we were going to get the details or the action, especially on this movie where a lot of what happens is, what's that behind you? Did you see just enough in the shadows to give people the impression of something closing in? And, that you need to be able to see that to some extent. That needs to be lit. Even though you want it lit in a way that it doesn't look lit, it's got to be lit. And that was, so I was really concerned going through pre-production, but we got the best EP and he worked it all out. And on the first day when we saw dailies, when we went to the theater, shooting all night like we did,
yeah.
They wake me up around, 9 in the morning and say, okay, you got to get to the post house to look at the dailies. And we'd go to Photo Chem and sit in the theater and we'd watch the nights shooting from before, having the film developed. And as soon as we did that one time, I was like, it's good. I never needed to look in the camera again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was that good, and I had that kind of respect for him because I would set up a shot, and he would go for it. And, that day, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, Dennis, you're on your own. I'll deal with the actors from here on out. And that's what I did. I'd pull actors aside, and I'd just work with them. And then Dennis would set up the camera, the dolly track, all those things, and he'd capture it. I mean, he really is a pretty magnificent guy to work with. I can't say enough about him. And there's not a lot of heralded technical experts in this business. A lot of the fame gets transmitted to the stars, and the celebrities. But the TP on this movie is he's definitely the hero. But there was some cool stuff, man. He accomplished some good stuff, and there were some good people. I'm glad you had a chance to talk to Camden because he definitely opens the movie in a creepy way. Did he tell you about it?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he's good, man. He's solid.
Definitely.
We did a public appearance not too long ago. We were at the Monsters Among Robots show, actually, not too long ago, and he was one of the guests with me. And he had some serious fans, man. There were some people that go back to his days on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. One lady saw him, drove home, got a pin with his picture on it, drove back just to give it to him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Stalker.
He lived like 2 cities
Stalker.
over. And I was like, man, that is dedicated.
Oh yeah. Well, Ethan, is there anything else you want to talk about tonight? We're going to go ahead and we've ran it over 35 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and close shop because we've been here since 7 this afternoon, so we got a good 3.5 hours out of the night.
What have I missed?
Oh God. Oh, don't make me go into it.
Here we go. That's the famous J. Scott sign-off right there. Oh, gee, man. You know, well, why don't we can't talk a little bit about Black Book Romance? I mean, that'll probably keep me here a few minutes, right?
No, I don't think so tonight.
Is that video done that you're shooting?
No, we're doing some more shots. We've went
at Spooky Town or Spooky Wood.
Yeah. I do want to give these guys a shout out because
please do.
This is woodsofterror.com.
Oh, that's nice.
And you can go there, woodsofterror.com, and you can see what they've got. This guy dropped in personally $155,000 into putting this thing together.
Man, and does it reflect that?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it just seasonal?
And
really?
And you know, this guy starts. He told me when we went down there, he was nice enough to let us, and he signed a release form, which was also nice. But he was nice enough to let us go down there. And you know, he charges $25 a head to get in there, and he's not made a profit on this thing. The whole time, the 10 years he's had it there, I think he said 10 years, he's never made a profit. He turns all his money back into making it better for the next year.
I'm impressed with that. That's nice. Hey, real quick, though, that reminds me. We are going to license Sin-Jin Smyth in conjunction with some work from Screenline Studios, and we're going to do a series of Sin-Jin Smyth haunted houses.
Oh, man.
With set pieces or replica set pieces from the film, and it's going to take the audience straight through everything that's in the movie, like the Midnight Prisoner transfer from the cemetery, the high plains of India, and it's going to be pretty good. I saw the layout for it, and you know, it's going to be pretty dangerous.
Well, you might want to talk to this guy about that.
Let's do it, man.
Because he's got like a little Freddy Krueger thing. He's got like all the big time monsters.
How come he doesn't call up? How come we're not taking his call up?
But you know, to put that kind of money in, the props are great, and he let us come in there at night and go through it, and for free, and then he let us come back in during the daytime when no one was there and get the shots that we needed, and he was very, very cool.
Would you liken this video to like one of those White Lion videos of the year?
Oh no. I did use some cheesy stuff though. We've got this hearse this white hearse that's backed in with a coffin falling out of the back, and Patrick stands on the hood of it. Playing the guitar, baby. Yeah.
I love it, man. Let's be honest. The best thing about Pee-wee's Herman's Adventure, or one of the best, was Dee Snider on the hood of the car doing the "See no evil." I mean, man, that's what I think of when you tell me this, that you're on the hood of a hearse.
Oh wait,
Dee Snider.
It gets better though. There's another scene where there's this coffin and it opens, and my eyes are closed, and Jeff is underneath the frame opening it. He's pulling it open so it opens real slow, kind of like the Nosferatu thing going on, right?
And then spring up like that guy?
I don't spring up, but I do. I open my eyes and look directly in the camera. It's total cheese, man, but we had a lot of fun with it.
That's good, man. Max Schreck would be proud, God rest his soul. That's another movie worth watching. You know, they re-released that with, what, a Type O Negative soundtrack?
I think so, yeah.
They threaded in some metal, man, and actually it makes it worth watching. They're doing that now. They did that also with Todd Browning's Dracula from '31. They put a Philip Glass soundtrack to it, and it makes it a completely different movie in a lot of ways. It's good.
Huh.
It's good. Maybe we'll do that with Sin-Jin Smyth in a few years. We'll do like a complete Black Book romance soundtrack.
There we go.
Probably something a little harder than Philip Glass, though.
How's your boy Sebastian Bach?
I don't know. I haven't. I don't talk with Sebastian.
I'm gonna see him on Thursday.
Who's Sebastian Bach?
Yeah.
Really?
Where are you going to be? Are you going to be hanging with Skid Row on Thursday? Well, actually, they're not together anymore.
Well, they are together, but Sebastian Bach's not.
Yeah, I think it's a solo project.
Yeah, you're going to see him Thursday?
Yeah, they are opening for Guns N' Roses.
Oh, you're going to see Guns N' Roses?
Oh, yeah.
I've heard they're really kicking butt now.
That's what I've heard, too, man.
Huh.
And the demo album sounds great.
Where are they playing at? Coliseum?
Greensboro Coliseum, yeah.
Greensboro
Coliseum.
So
the sound shouldn't be too good.
Let me quickly plug this. The other night, I'm with Duffy and Morrison. You know, Morrison was the bass player of the Cult in the early 90s on the road.
Well, and the drummer, Matt Sorum, was the drummer for Guns N' Roses for several years as well.
Right. That's where I'm going with this.
I got you. I'm sorry to step on your feet.
Yeah, where do you get off, Chuck? Chuck, who are you all of a sudden?
He's taking Trent's place.
No, you're knowledgeable. That's exactly where I'm going with this. Actually, it's a funny thing. So we were sitting around Warner Brothers, and he says, "What are you doing Friday?" And I said, "Nothing. Probably. I'm working." He says, "Well, why don't you leave? Because we're editing, so that usually takes up our evenings." And he says, "Why don't you come down to the House of Blues and check out a show?" And I got down there, and it's like a exclusive X Games rap party event, and they're playing. And I walk in, right, and they're doing a She Sells Sanctuary, but it's Matt Sorum on drums, and it's Duffy on guitar, and Morrison on guitar, and Navarro on guitar, and the guy singing is the guy from this new band, Panic Channel.
Yeah.
And then from there, man, they go into this. They go, "Hey, we're gonna bring out a friend of ours," and Steve Jones comes on, and they do a Sex Pistols song.
Oh wow!
And then they get this, and you're gonna think I'm kidding, right? And then after that, they go, "Okay, one more thing. We're gonna bring on another friend of ours," and Robbie Krieger comes on.
Robbie Krieger.
Oh my gosh!
And then get this, they're gonna go like, "All right, now we're gonna bring out a friend to sing," and Scott Weiland comes on, and they do "Love Me Two Times."
Oh my
Scott Weiland sings it. And you know what? This is great, man. The whole band is called Camp Freddy, and what it is it's like a celebrity cover band where they rotate in these high-powered guests, right?
Oh, that's sweet, man.
That's a great marketing idea.
Close the show, Slash comes on, right?
Oh God!
You're kidding me.
No, and here's how crazy it got, man. Right? Slash is. I mean, at points there were some other guys that are fairly nameless coming in, like the members of Rat. I don't know which ones. Mark McGrath.
Stephen Piercy.
But they all worked their way in, and actually Mark McGrath, although I'm never a fan of his work, he did all right. He held his own on stage, but Slash comes on to finish the show, right? And Cypress Hill comes out, and they did Paradise City with Cypress Hill.
Oh my God!
Oh man!
And even they said, we don't know how this is going to go, but
hang on.
Man, I mean, this is a crazy life, We're just sitting there on a bench at the studio, and he's like, "What are you doing? Come on down and have a drink, have a beer." And I go down there, and I'm like, "Man, you couldn't have fit another household rocker on that stage." So I don't know. Those guys have nothing to do with Guns N' Roses, as I understand it now, though, right?
I don't believe so. Yeah, it's pretty much him and a bunch of.
Yeah, I think he gets Slashes in that other band.
The Velvet Revolver.
Velvet Revolver.
It's
yeah.
Buckethead still playing with him?
No, he doesn't. They've got this new guy, Ron Thal, who's actually he's pretty much a virtuoso in his own right.
Virtuoso what? Guitar?
Yeah. Child prodigy. Apparently, he's pretty amazing. He's done some pretty unique arrangements with Chopin for electric guitar and some pretty interesting stuff. Yeah, I guess his nickname is Bumblefoot, but yeah, he's pretty amazing, man. They've also got Robin Fink from Nine Inch Nails, and
oh wow,
I think he also worked with Cirque du Soleil.
Did you guys talk to Wade Wilson about his days with Nine Inch Nails?
Briefly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of Nine Inch Nails, so Bach is opening up for these guys, or?
Oh yeah, and unfortunately, Papa Roach. I'm not a big fan of those guys. I didn't realize they had released 4 albums already too.
Is Sebastian Bach done with making the band or whatever that show was he was doing with those guys?
I have no idea.
The show with Bonham and those guys, Nugent.
I have no idea. I'd heard about it, but I don't know.
I know, none of us.
They were on Nugent and Sebastian.
Yeah, dude, it was yeah, it was on I can't remember what channel it was on, but yeah, there was like a reality thing.
Wade brought by for lunch the other day. Evan Seinfeld of Biohazard was on that show too.
Wow.
It's just a fairly combustible group.
I can imagine. I can only imagine.
It's just so funny because I didn't have a chance to watch it all, though I'm sure it doesn't get very, very boring around those guys.
I'm sure it doesn't.
He's one of your heroes, though, right? Didn't Black Book Romance hit the stage after Sebastian Bach?
It was actually as an older band that I was in before. That some of the same guys are in this group, but yeah, it was Storm, and we played with Skid Row, but not with Sebastian.
No? Who was the singer then?
Rachel?
It's Johnny, I can't remember his last name. Yeah, Rachel Boland's still in the band.
Oh, he still is?
Yeah. I saw Rachel in Atlanta about a year ago when I was down there in a club.
Yeah.
He lives there now.
Keeping the scene alive, brother.
That's it. In the Atlanta scene.
Halloween. Let's get our final Halloween thoughts.
All right, let's do that.
We'll do it Crossfire style. Okay.
Okay.
Jay Scott. Chuck.
God.
Now Chuck. Laura.
There you go.
Jay.
Well, I'll just say that.
I'm about to get McLaughlin group on you, but go ahead.
I'll just.
We got James Carville over here.
I'll just say I'll just say this: The Exorcist is still the best film ever made. The original.
I know some people that'll agree with that. I know some people that'll definitely agree with that.
Chuck?
It quite possibly is. I don't know. I'm not a huge horror genre fan, but actually, you know what I saw?
What are you doing here?
I don't know,
What are
man.
you doing here?
I don't know.
I saw the other night, though,
Blasphemy.
on a top 50 best horror films or best Halloween flicks of all time. Apparently, 2001: Space Odyssey is considered
Oh, God.
a horror flick.
You know, I don't like that movie.
Really?
Every filmmaker I know loves it, but I hate it.
I love that
Ethan, do you
film,
like
man.
that movie?
You know, I have a tough time sitting through it, actually.
Okay, good.
I saw that movie as a kid, and I thought it was pretty disturbing, actually. I mean, the whole idea of this guy, like, you know, I mean, it's a much more profound movie to me. I've never really fully embraced it, and I can actually appreciate the technical side of it and what Kubrick had to do.
Well, it's pretty cerebral too, like you're saying. I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's a heavy movie, and I know why it's got the respect it does, but I've never really fully embraced it because I need more of an explanation than some major acid.
No, I hear you on that.
You know, blowing out of control, and you're old, and then you're young, and then you're a baby, and then you're having dinner, and you're, you know.
And the monkey with the bone, and what's that all about?
What's that all
Yeah, you know, the acrobat in the monkey suit with the bone. But
That's right.
You know, it's I don't know why they would put it in that section of horror movies because I don't know that it necessarily.
I didn't quite agree with it either. So.
But I really kind of, when I saw that movie, I was young, and I didn't understand any of it except for the fact that everyone was going to hell, and it was kind of annoying to watch. You know, people were dying in their hibernation suits and stuff, and, you know, sci-fi had a totally different tone. You know, when we responded to other movies from a sci-fi standpoint in 2001, like Star Wars, we knew what was up in Star Wars. You know, but in 2001, I was like, what the
Yeah, exactly.
the hell is happening here? You know?
Well, so what's your favorite, Ethan? What do you think?
What my favorite horror movie be?
Yeah.
God, there's so many good ones, man. I'll give you a few that I really like watching. I love Carpenter's version of The Thing.
Okay.
But I love the environment and the paranoia and all the elements to it. I also love Alien.
Wish I had thought of that one.
What's that?
He says he wish he had thought of that one.
Yeah, Alien's definitely one of my favorites. I like the original Haunting. The Exorcist, obviously, is a pretty powerful movie.
Part 2's your baby, right?
Yeah, part 2 is where it's at. We ain't watching one without 2. In fact, is there a first one? Not where I'm concerned. Part 2. No.
Only 2 and 3, right?
Yeah, right. Actually, Part 3, it's an interesting story. Part 3 was not supposed to be Exorcist 3.
It was supposed to be 2, right?
No, it was based on a book called Legion.
Yeah, I know, by William Peter Blatty.
Yeah, same guy. And
Yeah.
he was going to direct it, but what happened?
He did direct it, didn't he?
He did, but Warner Brothers, with all their Jedi.
He's really down on Warner Brothers, isn't he?
Well, you know, come hang out with me for a while. We'll walk you through the political motions you got to deal with. Nothing like a bunch of people out of touch that have never seen a movie with a paying audience. Because they haven't. You know, when you see something at a screening with a bunch of agents patting each other on the back because they just made their client a cool million, it's just gonna really actually taint the whole business. But anyway,
Were they the ones behind the Captain America fiasco?
what was the Captain America? How come we're talking about that?
There was a movie called Captain
It
America.
was really terrible.
I heard it was so bad people were actually leaving the screenings they were paying them to sit through.
You're talking about the one that was made in the 80s or the 90s, right?
The 80s or 90s. It was
that one
bad.
Really is terrible.
Well, if that's the one I'm thinking of, it stars Reb Brown, and we use him on Sin-Jin Smyth.
Uh-oh, watch out.
Captain America. He also played Hunter from the Future.
Oh, God.
But he was the enforcer in Big Wednesday, and actually Blaster in Uncommon Valor. And
I think Dolph Lundgren played this role, though.
Who did Dolph Lundgren? You know what?
Yeah.
Let's look into that. Have your, you know, you.
I'll
got
check-
some
I'll
cyber- You got some cyber guys
The
out
fact
there.
checkers.
I'll check that out.
What was I? Oh, we were talking about Exorcist 3. That
Yeah.
was supposed to be. That was based on the book Legion, and it had nothing to do with the other Exorcist movies.
It wasn't supposed to be at all part of the franchise then, huh?
No, not at all. But Warner Brothers said, we really want to use the title Exorcist 3.
And they said they wanted to have an exorcism in it because it was
and
originally
they
supposed to
said-
end with like a gun, the guy pulling a gun on him, right?
Right, and
Yeah.
so they said they made him reshoot it with an exorcism.
Oh.
He actually says, there's no exorcism in the script. And they said, well, let's create one. And I said, you know what, man, I can relate, bro. I know what it's like to have some idiot say, let's let's put in an exorcism. Like,
It's still,
genius.
It's still a great movie though. George C. Scott, one of my favorite actors, is obviously dead now, but one of my favorite. Patton, you just can't get past that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Patton. He also played Mussolini.
Really?
Yeah, he's got a.
Well, he did the Christmas Carol. He did my favorite version of Dickens' Christmas Carol.
Yeah,
made for TV, but it was my favorite version. I owned it on DVD.
Nice.
Unfortunately,
so you prefer to watch the George C. Scott version as opposed to say a Muppet Christmas Carol?
Exactly. No. I've got that too.
Good. No, that's a great movie. That's in its own ways. I think it misfires a little bit with the fans because it's got that title.
Yeah.
That's Warner Brothers trying to outsmart themselves like they always do. And Exorcist 3, and if that movie stood on its own as Legion, it'd probably have a whole different.
Oh yeah.
That was a Warner Brothers release too?
Yeah.
Really?
Bro, there's a hit parade over there, man. Wait, come on, man. You can't get enough of that. If you didn't get enough of Battlefield Earth and Deep Blue Sea.
No, God.
I'm not sure I ever saw Battlefield Earth. Oh, wait a minute. That's the Travolta film about Scientology, isn't it?
Oh, isn't it? Isn't it?
I've heard nothing but bad things about that.
And what's up with this whole Scientology crap out there?
Hey man, don't look at me, man. I'm down with that German hardline where if you become a Scientologist, you're automatically arrested.
I hear that.
Well, it pretty much is that way. From what I hear, the rumor is that they keep files of these people, photographs of them in compromising positions to keep them Scientologists. That's why Isaac Hayes left South Park after 10 years of success.
Oh my God!
Did Isaac Hayes walk out of it, or?
Yeah, he walked out of it, and
because of the whole Scientology
they even strung
thing.
a bunch of audio clips together of his dialogue, man.
It's a funny thing, man.
Turn him into a pedophile.
I had lunch with Isaac Hayes a few years back because he was going to do the music to a 70s film we were putting together about like a 70s police force, a super police force, and he was going to do the music, and he had talked a little bit about Scientology, but you wouldn't think he was completely tainted in a way that made it unbearable. I mean, there's people like
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, Cruise is a good example of a guy that, he's been accused of forcing people to convert in order to do his movies.
Oh, my God.
And I don't know how much truth to that there is, but I mean, it ain't my organization, bro. In fact, I formed a secret society. Well, it ain't secret now, is it? But I formed a secret society. It's a paramilitary group that if the Scientologists ever get a guy in the White House, you'll get your orders.
Okay.
You'll get your orders. It's going to be like telethon. You don't know who our agents are until the phone rings.
Manchurian Candidate, man.
Oh, the Manchurian.
Yeah, and that's an awesome movie too. I know it's got nothing to do with Halloween, but if you
the remakes suck though.
What, telethon? They remade telethon?
No, they remade Manchurian Candidate.
Oh yeah, the Manchurian.
I don't think did they call it Manchurian Candidate?
Yes,
I can't remember.
They did.
They did.
It had a tiny twist on the end, from what I
didn't see it actually. I can't really. I just saw the previews.
To be
and I was
honest
like,
with you, it wasn't that bad for a remake.
Hey Chuck, stop being sympathetic to their. You're with us. I mean, I hate to get Dirty Harry on you, but you're either with us or you're against us.
No, I hear you, man. I should shut my mouth right now before I say anything about Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh Lord.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh man.
What about it? I missed that part. What about Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Oh, you're baiting me into it, man.
No, what is it?
He does that.
Hey Chuck, either step up and say it or just get out of the booth. What is it?
I enjoyed the remake of it. I
haven't seen it.
Oh, really?
I actually like the remake. All right. I like the original.
I thought
too.
the set was awesome.
Cool thing. Did you guys watch the Fuse Fangoria Awards?
No.
We went down there. We had some cast doing some presentations. So Tim Poe and the Fangoria was nice enough to have us down. But it opened with Bronowski, who's Leatherface in these new movies. And
right.
He comes out with Slipknot, right? Slipknot comes down and they got their masks on and everything, and Bronowski doesn't, right? So they were like, Slipknot gets on the mic, and one of the guys is like, "Hey man, we're supposed to present with Leatherface. That's cool." And the other guy's like, "Well, where is he?" And then of course Bronowski, who doesn't have his mask on, comes up and he's like, "It's me, man. I'm Leatherface." and they're like, "You?" And he's like, "Well, I don't wear the mask everywhere I go, man. That would be stupid."
Not like you guys, right?
Yeah. And they're like looking back. I mean, it was obviously a planned shtick, and they're like looking back and forth. But it was just classic that, he's sitting there, and he did have the mask, of course, in his back pocket. But, hey, check it out. Anyway, so I would have to say that, I like a lot of the Dracula, Frankenstein's, James Whale work, Roy William Neill films on Halloween. Did
you see that James Whale movie, the, was it something Monster? Was that it called? Was it?
I saw it a long time ago, yeah.
I did too.
Monsters.
Yeah, that was it. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
What's that? Why do you have to throw that movie?
I had no idea. I didn't really like that film very much.
No, neither did I. I like the movies he made. I don't necessarily need to see a movie on his life.
Yeah, me either.
But he did some cool work.
Yeah, he did.
This is a great movie for Halloween. Or let's do this. We're closing out the show. I know I'm holding everyone up, but
You're fine.
rather than talk about what we all like, because it's nothing more than our opinion, why don't we all suggest something that maybe your audience hasn't seen for Halloween? And my suggestion would be The Scarlet Claw by Roy William Neill.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, awesome. It all takes place in like the haunted bog of, like Western Canada, La Morte Rouge, and it's like a phantom running through the swamps killing people. That would be my suggestion this Halloween for those of you who haven't seen it and are looking for something new. Go get The Scarlet Claw, directed by Roy William Neill, starring Basil Rathbone. And you don't go wrong with that guy on Halloween.
That's true. Mine would be The Wolfman.
That's a good one, but I think that's one people. I think you should have definitely seen The Wolfman by now.
Okay, well, all right. Nosferatu, the original 1922 silent.
Okay, that's a good one.
Now we've got one from our chat room. Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, the original silent version.
That was actually on last night, I think.
Really?
Yeah, that's a good choice. Yeah.
Chuck.
I'd have to say The Reanimator.
Okay, now that's a cult classic. Let's have something that most people probably have not seen yet.
Okay.
What's option 2 and 3?
I don't know. Most of the stuff I've seen is stuff that most people have seen.
He's not a horror fan.
No, I'm not hardcore.
Chuck, let's pony. At least give us a Corman title or something. Give us something. Give your fans. This is for the fans, man.
I'm racking my brain now, trying to think of a really obscure horror film.
Let's skip Chuck for now and go to Laura.
Well, I do have one. There was an independent film.
Frailty, that's good.
Independent film released in 2004 called Malevolence that is worth checking out.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Is it good?
I don't think it's great, man, but it's definitely worth checking.
What was that movie Cabin Fever that sucked so bad, and now the guy's making something else that's supposedly really big? What's he working on now? Oh man, that movie, it was shot here, and the movie's awful.
He's doing an adaptation of Stephen King's Cell.
That's it. The Cabin Fever sucked, dude. Anybody that tells you that's a good movie, it obviously needs to go and just stop watching films. I mean,
definitely needs a good
and this guy filmed.
well,
this guy filmed this stuff. No, I mean I know some of the people that worked on the film. He filmed this thing here in North Carolina, and the movie is just awful. I mean, it is god awful.
It's definitely a.
Yeah, I know. You don't want to talk about your peers. I understand that.
I mean, I talk about my peers all day long. If somebody needs to be curb checked, let's curb check them. But, I didn't really see the whole film to pass judgment on it. I really wasn't into what I did see. But, I mean, there might be something there because there was an audience and the guy's employed. But, you're getting Chuck off the hook because, he said Malevolence?
Yeah.
Well, somebody mentioned, today we were having this talk, actually, over lunch, and somebody said a movie called Burnt Offerings is worth checking out. Has anyone seen that?
No.
I have not, no.
No? Let's get with it.
I did see one called The Exorcist, I think. Not The Exorcism. I'm sorry, not The Exorcist, The Exorcism, I think is what it's called. It went direct to DVD, but it really wasn't that bad.
I wonder why.
No, it really wasn't that bad, honestly. I have to give it that. And The Hollow, I thought wasn't that bad. It's another direct-to-DVD release. They take the legend of Sleepy Hollow and give it a modern twist. That's a good
idea.
It wasn't bad.
That's one of my all-time favorite books, and I think, I know that people would rather play Xbox, but
than read.
At the time, read the book, Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving. It's an unfinished book, but what you do read there, it'll just blow your mind. It's one of the best stories, and it's actually it's pretty good with today's times. I'm not surprised that somebody updated it. And it's called The Hollow, huh?
Yeah, it's called The Hollow. It's on DVD at Blockbuster. It's not too bad. It's actually pretty good. And actually a lot of this stuff was based on those buildings are there. There's a website. I'll find the website and I'll put a link up to it. There's a website of people that live in the town of Sleepy Hollow now today that have done the research based on this novel and found a lot of this stuff there that they didn't think was there.
That's part of the magic of the book is it's supposedly based in fact. In fact, it's not even necessarily a drummed-up legend by Washington Irving. That it's actually.
Oh, it comes from like a German legend, if I'm not thinking correctly.
That the Western Woods by Sleepy Hollow, and I'm not sure where. I'm not exactly specifically sure where it is geographically, but they say it's all haunted by a dead Hessian officer.
Huh.
From the American Revolution. But, I think your fans would be impressed if they go to your library or get online and pull the book and read it. It's a short story.
Oh, yeah.
but it'll keep you interested. I mean, it's very detailed. Burton did a pretty good adaptation of it. He stuck to the book pretty close.
I like Burton's version of it. I did.
Yeah, he didn't stick to it towards the end, but the setting of the colonial era and the town and some of the legendary stuff, that's all right out of the book.
Yeah, and I'm not a big Tim Burton fan, but I did like that film.
Yeah, there's some good people in it too. That movie's cast really well. Taken Back to Hell. Just the old guys sitting around the fireplace that have nothing to do but try and intimidate this guy. Taken by the Headless Horseman back to hell. It's like, no one really talks like that, but man, it's appropriate in that movie, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So that's another good Halloween recommendation, Sleepy Hollow.
Well, let's wrap this thing up, man. We've been on 4 hours now.
Screw
So
you guys, man.
4 hours.
On the shoulder, got a ticket.
I know. I feel terrible about that. I really do.
No, don't worry. Can I send it to you?
No. I don't feel that terrible about it.
I'm good, man. No, but actually, it's a real privilege. I hope everyone has a safe holiday, man, because it can get pretty crazy out there on Halloween. But I'm looking forward to it.
All right, hang on the line with us, Ethan.
Yeah.
All right, guys, you're listening to World of the Unexplained. This is Jay Scott. You're only JD DJ on the Planet Paranormal Radio Network.
And this is Chuck Bratter.
And we're not going to have any sign-off music tonight. We're just going
to do it.
That's right. We're out.